talk more about this, joining me now, entertainment lawyer Tre Lovell. Tre, thank you for being here once again. So setting bail, the judge already denied it. Round two here, what can we expect today, and what are the factors the judge will consider?
Sure. Good morning. So just to kind of inform your viewers, what happened yesterday was the hearing was before a magistrate judge. A magistrate judge is more of an administrative ministerial judge, and handles some of the lesser important aspects of the litigation. The hearing is going to be before the actual judge, the trial judge who this case is before and is going to be here from beginning to end. So the court is going to look at the arguments anew. But I will tell you, it's going to be an uphill battle for Sean Combs on this, because typically when you have charges like this of violence, of rape, of assault, physical abuse, there's a presumption that bail will be withheld because of the nature of the charges and the person. In addition, there's some concerns that he could be a flight risk because of his wealth. And also there's some evidence, or some claims rather, that he's been tampering with witnesses, trying to coerce witnesses to his side. So there's a lot of issues here that go against the defense in terms of the bail hearing. So it's probably a difficult climb to get him out.
Could the judge grant him bail but set certain parameters around him, given his wealth and the risk that he may go someplace else? Have you seen that in the past?
I have seen that in the past. You know, the judge yesterday made a comment. Listen, there's no accommodation that I can give to assure that he's not going to be dangerous to other people and or be a flight risk. But I think the judge could. You could possibly have home detention with the monitoring device. So he's out of jail, but he is restricted. Restrict his usage of phones, so he can't contact witnesses. There are things that can be put in place, and I'm sure his lawyers are going to be going over that. But because of the nature of the charges and his wealth and what's happened, it's going to be a bit of a climb, as I said.
What about his detention? Is that any different than the average Joe, given who he is and the crimes he has committed? And if he remains in custody, is he part of the general population in detention? What does that look like, and how will his attorneys try to navigate that?
Yeah, no, I don't think he'd be part of the general public, or the general population. He's a celebrity. There's a risk of violence against him. So they'll probably try to make some arrangements so that he's safe. That's a very important aspect, certainly because it's a high-profile case. But other than that, he'll be in detention, subject to the other rules and the restrictions. And it's much more difficult to participate in your defense when you're restricted in jail, and your lawyers are trying to get to you. It's a much different and much more challenging. So obviously, not only for his personal desire, but for his case and his assistance, he wants to be out of jail.
I don't know if you heard a moment ago my colleague Chris Cuomo making the distinction between innocent and not guilty. His defense is claiming that everything was consensual. Help us elaborate on that distinction, and does that argument stand in court?
Well, it's going to be interesting because, according to his defense, I believe that the sex trafficking crime, the government references 50 victims and witnesses. Well, according to his defense, there's one victim and 49 witnesses. And so we're going to start to hear the other side of the story on this from Diddy Combs. And the argument's going to be, yes, it was all consensual. Everybody wanted to be there. Nobody was there. And the way you handle a defense like this is you take the prosecution's case and you challenge it piece by piece, witness by witness. So they're going to take each account, each witness, and they're going to try to attack their credibility. They're going to show a different narrative. And if you're able to do that, even for the first few, it does kind of taint the case. A jury will sense a commonality that there's serious questions about the prosecution case. And it'll kind of help in a tidal wave sort of manner the rest of the case. So it's going to be a grind, but they're going to attack it piece by piece. And as the days and weeks go on, we're going to see more about exactly what their defenses are going to be.
Right, and then you've got witnesses, and you've got those who may have corroborated or participated. How wide of a net do the prosecutors cast here, and how many deals might they make to try to get people on their side?
Well, it's very interesting because I would have expected with the RICO case and a trafficking case, that there would have been a lot more defendants. But he is the only defendant, he and his companies. So this is saying a couple of, and this is despite the fact that the nature of the charges involve other people. If it's a conspiracy, by definition, it's two or more people involved. Yet they didn't choose to charge anybody else. So I think this shows that A, he's the target, and B, the case is pretty strong. They've got a lot of witnesses. Supposedly they have a lot of physical evidence, a lot of video evidence that corroborates what the witnesses are saying that they got from his home. And so it seems like it's going to be a compelling case, a tough case, but that's what defense lawyers go after. They attack whatever's coming their way. So yeah, it'll be tough, but we're going to start to see, trust me, a different story from P. Diddy, because we've only seen one side of the coin thus far.
Yeah, and step one is whether or not he remains in detention at this point, and that will happen later today. Entertainment attorney Tre Lovell, thanks for breaking it down. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you so much.